Welcome, Gina, and thanks for again being open to discussing this writing. And I'm going to surprise you because you don't know what it is, and I really haven't read it either. So, with that in mind, we will just dive in. I'll read it, and then we'll move into a discussion.
Mhm.
One moment, please. Whoops. Okay. All right. Okay, here we are. Recognize the photo at all?
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
and this is from one of my writings, Catherine.
Oh, it is? Oh
Yes,
my gosh.
yes, it is.
Well, we won't ask you for the backstory because
Well,
it's about conflict, so we don't have enough time to go deeply into it.
no, we don't, but
I'm
yeah.
sure there's a great backstory that goes with it. All right. I'm just going to read it and then we'll dive in.
Mhm.
Conflict is the opening in the rungs of a ladder where you build strength in the climbing. Though calluses may form, the movement sometimes only can be realized through the struggle. The ladder is there for movement, ascent or descent, are bridging the horizontal realms and expressions. The movement always occurs. Do not worry. Are you a little conflict avoided?
I have a Cheshire grin because, boy, this has a lot of meaning, and it hit me at the time, it was several years ago. Um, it's interesting. I sometimes I don't want to move. I want to hold on to those rungs because, it might be windy out there. I better not, better stay where I am. It's safer. But of course it isn't,
Right.
So I think,
Hold your
yeah,
position.
yeah. And, obviously, I think everyone could agree that the universe is always moving. We're always moving everything. It's always, otherwise we would be stagnant, which is not a good thing.
Yeah. And this idea of conflict, I mean, some people just avoid it like the plague
Mm,
or that whole like the plague has different meanings since we've actually lived through a plague in our lifetime
mm,
here.
yeah.
But that's probably a whole other writing we should do, right? Um, but yeah, conflict is natural, normal, and pretty much unavoidable because there's always some level of conflict going on. I
Mm.
think even within ourselves. I mean, not that it has to disrupt our peace, but that movement. Should I do this? I don't want to. Um, yeah. Movement sometimes can only be realized through the struggle. How's
Yeah,
that hit you? I
I think
mean,
about like, when a really good novel is always going to have conflict.
mm,
That's the spice of life. I don't understand why, but it definitely is. Um,
and I would say that right now, conflict in people's opinions, in their politics, and I won't get into any of that drama, but we are swimming at all times in conflict. Conflicting ideas, conflicting opinions, conflicting perspectives, conflicting memories, conflicting ideas of you said that, no I didn't, no you said that, no I mean
yeah,
um
good point.
although conflict seems like it's such a big thing, here it's just offered as an opening in the rungs of the ladder where you build strength
Mm.
in climbing. And
Yeah, conflict is a really heavy word when you just have it on its own. It's like, oh, conflict. That's bad.
right, yeah, yeah,
Anyway.
yep. No, I'm just trying to drink it all in, and I like that it talks about, source distinguishes that the ladder's there for movement.
Hmm. Yeah.
Ascent or descent or bridging, like if you lay the ladder
Mhm.
horizontally, it can it can span a gap between people, ideas, maybe, I don't know. I love how Source uses these concepts and metaphors in various ways.
And
Yeah.
this one really sticks. I think it sticks with, and it will stick with you as it has stuck with me because it's a simple principle, the ladder, the rungs. Um, and you can always comfort yourself when you're going through trials and tribulations, that yes, you're going to get through it. You're going to keeping on.
Yeah,
And
one hand
one rung at a time.
time. Yeah.
Absolutely. And you don't look too far up nor too far down. You just one, as you say, look one rung above and, or if you're going down just one rung
Kind
below.
of take that foot and feel for the next solid
Yes,
place so
indeed.
you don't fall, right?
Right.
So you
Or you
don't,
don't freak yourself out like, oh my God, look at where
yeah.
how high this sucker is,
I'm reminded of, climbing the ladder. The person,
Mm.
oh, that person's just a ladder climber, a
Yeah,
climber. I'm using that acronym, I mean that thing wrong, but you know what I mean?
yeah, right.
And this kind of way that this kind of wraps it up. The movement always occurs. Do not worry.
Mm-hmm.
And when we're trapped in a conflict, inner conflict, intrapersonal conflict, or whatever it might be, um, it doesn't feel like it's going anywhere or that
Yeah,
it's going to shift in that moment oftentimes, or we just think, I don't even know what to do in this situation, I don't even know how to apologize or get them to not be mad at me or whatever, however the stakes are of the conflict. And this is, the movement always occurs, do not worry.
yeah,
Because if you're in a conflict with somebody, oftentimes there can be that um invitation to ruminate about it. He said this, and then I said that, and then he misunderstood me, or she misunderstood me, or whatever. And I just find that so interesting to use the latter, that how it's been used is that it really is for our movement. Or
yeah.
as you climb a ladder, you see from a different height.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you look up and you see a place you want to go, you have a goal, or a dream, and you're thinking like, there's no way I could ever get there, or whatever. I don't have, I mean, I couldn't spend the money to take that class or whatever it might be, and then
Yeah,
one at a time, it's like you don't go from
baby steps,
zero
as
to,
they say, right? Baby steps.
yeah, right. So I just find this one very, and I love the image. It's so
Mm-hmm.
powerful in and of itself.
Yeah.
They're like a stone carving, but they're embracing. And
Mm-hmm.
there's a heart. And so there's space to see between the two and still hold on to one another.
Mm.
So it wasn't a ladder image I could find on the fly there, but it did seem to speak of what we do sometimes, so
Yeah.
anyway, any last thoughts about it, Gina? Or any things you want to
I
say?
would say as a finale, sometimes, the next rung in a conflict is simply saying, this is my favorite line that I tell myself. You're in a conflict with somebody and you say, I'm going to order pizza. What do you want on your pizza? And that is just enough to kind of smooth the feathers down.
Oh,
Just you move on. You can move on.
wow.
Anyway.
Okay, that's a pizza tip from Gina. I I appreciate it, and I can really see how that could be a very effective strategy to use when you are kind of locked in a position, or the two of you, or the three of you, or the whole group of you. So
Mhm.
thanks again, Gina. This is
You.
so um rich of
Yeah.
a source message. So we invite people to look at this again. This message, you can stop the play button and you can reread it, because these are source messages. They contain energy and they can evoke meaning in you. And this is just Gina and I saying what hits us, but it's really how you are responding to it and what it speaks to you. So thanks for listening. And thank you, Gina, for being here. And note to self, Catherine, movement is always occurs, and do not worry. So that's what I'm going to take. Thanks again, Gina. I so appreciate you being here and sharing your wisdom with us.